Hey guys, welcome and welcome back to this YouTube channel. I hope you're okay from wherever you are watching this video. I hope you're keeping safe. To all those who are trying to fight for us, especially me, let me speak on my behalf. You are fighting for me, despite me not being in the streets. You are in my sincere prayers. Ensure that you keep safe. Don't provoke the police or the army. Don't provoke anyone. Just be peaceful. If it's candle lighting, do the candle lighting peacefully. Na tunazidi kuombea. Back to this video. So recently I saw a post of Lynne alisema like he did an interview with Lynne Ngugi. You know Lynne Ngugi. Lynne Ngugi is a big brand and she's road to 1 million subscribers at the moment. Apparently they did an interview 3 months ago, but to the shock of Llewellyn, his interview was never posted and he doesn't know why. So to all these people who do these shows, like, do you have agreements before you do these interviews? Because remember, recently we saw Ogobina and Sammy Boy. Sammy Boy didn't like how the interview went and he claimed that Ogobina went against their agreement. He was asked some questions which they did not agree that he will ask him. So this made Sammy Boy to demand Ogobina to delete that video from YouTube because Ogobina had already posted it. And if you're a content creator, or even if you're not a content creator, you know what it takes from shooting to editing to uploading. It's not easy. Some videos, if they're long, it might be a challenge to upload them. And you know, for Gobina, like most of his shows, he goes live, and going live on YouTube and TikTok at the same time, it's not quite easy. Ogobina was forced to delete the interview between him and Sammy Boys. And the same Ogobina, they had issue with Churchill, and Churchill is a big brand, Ogobina is a big brand. I don't know what really happened. I can't remember. It's like Churchill did interview with Ogobina on Churchill's channel. On the other end, Ogobina did an interview with Churchill on Ogobina's show. Each one of them was supposed to upload their interviews on their respective channels. Churchill uploaded the interview they did with Ogobina, but on Ogobina's show, it's like he was barred from uploading that video. This made Ogobina to come out and say, like, yo, this is not good. Like, I can't do an interview with you and you upload mine and you don't want me to upload yours. That time Ogobina, it's not Ogobina show, it was Kula Kula show where he was inviting like celebrities. I don't know if they were cooking. I don't know if they were cooking, but I remember it was Kula Kula show. They used to eat while doing the interview before changing to Ogobina show, the one that we have at the moment that it's called Ogobina. Kula Kula show. Remember that story like some time back. So what I've realized, these are things that happens regularly. Somebody calls for you for an interview, but at the end of the day, they end up not posting, especially if you are, let's say you are an upcoming brand, you want to market yourself, you want to put yourself outside there, then someone ends up not posting your video. It can be so frustrating. I've never been there, but I just feel for them because you take your time, you use your resources to reach the venue. Like maybe you can buy maybe some clothes so that you can look good, then this happens. Back to the main story of Lynne Ngugi and Lynne Ngugi. Lynne Ngugi has a show by the name LNS, which is called Lynne Ngugi Show. If you know Lynne Ngugi from way back, she was the main host of Tuko. Personally, I thought that Tuko used to be hers. Sincerely, that's what I used to know. But shock on me, it was not hers because she parted ways with them some years back, and that's when she started her own show. This is a lesson to brands, whether a big brand or an upcoming brand. Make sure that you have agreement. Sign an agreement before doing these interviews. What I know is that these things have been happening for so long. It's just that some people don't like bringing their issues in public. It depends with how frustrated you are. Some people decide to keep it for themselves. Others decide to express their frustration. Imagine doing an interview even for 30 minutes. Somebody promises to post the interview for you so that you can be seen by so many people, because once your interview is posted by a big brand, like let's say Lynne Ngugi is a big brand, so many people get to see you and know more about you. And according to Llewellyn, their interview took like 3 good hours. It was a sit down. Then this happened. I don't know what happened. And then again, if you're not willing to post somebody's interview because of whatever they said during the interview, I think you should approach them and tell them this and this. You know what, we did this interview, yes, but due to my sponsors or due to my values of my channel, I can't post for you. Once you tell someone the reasons that you'll not be posting that video, like that interview, they won't come ranting on social media because you'll have informed them. But ghosting them and just seeing you uploading those videos, that's more of disrespect. Like, you do more interviews with other people, but this particular interview you're not posting because whatever that person said in your interview didn't go well with the expectations. So in future, whether you're a small or big brand, just set the rules, set that agreement, sign that agreement, have a neutral party. In case either party breaches that agreement, you can know what to do, because you'll have a reference of that agreement. You'll tell either party, whether you're the interviewer or interviewee, you'll have that agreement that you already agreed on what to be done and what not to be done during the interview. Then again, I don't know if it's Lynne who requested Lynne for the show. It's because most of the shows for Lynne Ngugi, what I understand is that people are the ones who approach, they email Lynne and tell them that they want to be interviewed on her show. For Lynne Ngugi, I don't know what was the case. At the moment, I'm just dealing with assumptions. I don't know what went how. So let me read for you the particular post that I'm talking about. Lynne Ngugi posted this. 3 months ago, I had a very engaging interview with Lynne Ngugi that lasted about 3 hours, but it was never aired on her YouTube channel. Despite my efforts to follow up, I haven't been given a reason why the interview was never aired. This is so frustrating because I cleared my schedule on that day for this interview, and I can see recent interviews being aired before my interview. I believe that Lynne Ngugi didn't air my episode because I spoke against scammers, gambling, alcohol, and masturbation, which are controversial topics, and some of our sponsors are against my content. To all my followers who saw my photos with Lynne Ngugi and have been waiting for the interview, kindly note that it's not my fault. I regret taking this interview, and going forward, I'll be careful about the interviews I get myself into. Thanks, Lynne Ngugi. And he attached a photo that he took with Lynne Ngugi that day of the interview. Number one, there is this second paragraph that is saying that despite my efforts to follow up, I haven't been given a reason why the interview was never aired. Before coming to social media, Lynne tried his best to know why the interview was never posted. I'll just read for you a sample of the comments. People expressed what they felt about that specific issue between Lynne Ngugi and Lynne Ngugi. Another thing you should also know, some of these things you are fighting, their owners can decide to pay for an interview for you to be called and be interviewed. That interview can help them know how to deal with you and make sure you are finished. Of course, through an interview, we'll talk about so many things, so they read your mind, psychology and intelligence. They'll score against you easily. Or maybe vice versa happened. What if Lynne was paid not to air that interview? Because that could also be possible. This is Kenya Bro. These are just assumptions. Somebody is implying that Lynne Ngugi was paid not to air that specific episode. You messed up yourself by going for that interview, bro. Nobody hurts you unless you allow it. Have the following tips. Sometimes we win by losing. Could be that airing your interview could have exposed you negatively, and maybe from her advisors, she was told to protect your image by not posting that interview. Ever attack any famous or popular person or company publicly? People won't believe you. Things like betting company, never. Remember, some of these betting companies have sponsored some projects in Kenya and even football clubs. Gor Mahia not exempted. How do you think the owners or fans of these clubs perceive you? If you talk about alcohol, remember Tusker is one of the brands of alcohol in Kenya. That company has sponsored a football club in this country for so many years. If you want to launch any attack against such, be wise, know and understand your stretch. Learn from Master Amerix and you won't be taking those interviews anymore. Amerix ni wa Twitter. Go to Twitter and follow him and you'll know why this person is saying so. The day you met Lynne Ngugi, I told you she was a feminist, but you never took it serious. When she was in Tuko, she used to air episodes that portray men like inhuman creatures. She would always call women who will testify bad things against men, despite the viewers demanding her to at least call one of the accused to defend himself, but she couldn't do so. Like for the issue of Alfred Mutua and his ex. She will prefer to call his ex, but not Mutua. She really enjoyed episodes where women talk ill about men. Her channel really created hatred instead of bringing men and women together. She would have aired it if you could have mentioned how your father mistreated your mother, how your sister's husband used to beat her, and how your brother slapped his wife. Those are the things she liked to hear. Anything bad about men. She doesn't want to hear Enoch, Elijah, and Melchizedek are men who went to heaven without sinning. She doesn't want to hear about men who were falsely accused of rape like Joseph. She doesn't want to hear about men who changed women's life. She just wants to hear men are bad. Lynne Ngugi, you are biased. Kuna mahali alianikwa nikadhani ameonewa. So it's true. Sijaiona kama ameanikwa, but I don't know. I read somewhere that she only airs sponsored interviews and on specific subjects or topics, and that she can never air anything that goes against the Western culture. So if you spoke anything against issues like LGBTQ, masturbation, scamming, etc., chances are almost zero. Did you agree on the timelines? I know many bigger media houses I have dealt with will tell you the date and time they will air. They also send a copy of the interview clip via email or a link to the same. It could be they're posting with schedule as per what is trending. Ama bado wako maandamano. I suggest you call and extract the answers without fear. But Lynne already stated that he tried getting answers on why his interview was not aired, but he was not given a response, if I understood the post very well. I am crying for that precious 3 hours lost. 2 hours prior to the interview was dedicated to preparing, 1 hour to the venue, 3 hours on session, 1 journey back, 1 hour post-meditation of what you've talked in the interview. Man, you didn't lose just 3 hours, you lost an entire expensive day. I am a witness to another failed upload from a guy who was a chairman of a diaspora group. The interview was an eye-opener to many problems and their solutions. Huyo Lynne alikanyagia kabisa. I have declined so many interviews simply because I don't see any value that it will add to me. I'll impart knowledge and empty my thoughts for zero rewards, only for someone else to monetize it. Never. The same happened to me, bro. Mine was 5 months ago. I forgone my duties, spent 3K in transport and was never aired. I believe she is somehow biased. Bro, I'm sure there are things you cannot post on your socials for so many reasons. Talk about those things you said with Lynne on your own channel. Life is like that. You too always choose what to post on your page. You always not post everything. What you shared might not be important to her too. Independence is something very important. This issue of doing something while putting the boss instructions in mind is outdated. Just look for something that you'll do without any fear of contradiction. Make sure before you go for any interview, you sign a memorandum with your host. In case they breach, you can sue them. The reason you're crying is because there was no agreement you signed. Don't trust everyone. People will waste you. As long as you did not get emotional, your stories are null and void, bro. Next time, fix some part to cry so that it can be aired in YouTube. Bro, don't regret going for the interview. You just did what was supposed of you. If it wasn't aired, just leave it. More interviews are on the way. Sorry, big man. Did she tell you about it? If no, it's not about her sponsors. Never go to her again. Is there an agreement to be signed prior to doing interviews? This would help. I wish to know if there are agreements or they just do these interviews because all of them are big brands, or normally what happens, I don't know. She should have given you the rules to follow beforehand. That way you will have accepted or rejected the interview from an informed position, saving everyone's time. Saving the best for the last. Uelewi hii bro. Wafanyiwa curtain raising wa complain. Bro, you are unstoppable. It's easy for media and multinationals to sell or advocate for or simply shun talking against drugs, porn, alcohol, and gambling. And of course, a lot of money is involved, but your focus is on bringing up stoic, focused, and financially awake young men and women for a better society. Don't stop for in due course you will achieve. Always happy for your teachings. That's not fair. It was a total waste of your time. Next time, always ensure you sign an agreement before any interview to avoid wasting time on something that won't be aired. Lynne Ngugi loves sad stories full of negative energy, and for that reason, some people have stopped watching her. Maybe you went with too much positivity that she couldn't handle. Mtu ahezi mwaga unga akufurahishe bro. Maybe angekwambia the areas you shouldn't touch. It's her fault. Juu angekwambia ukatae useme you won't be controlled, then msingeendelea. I think you should also be selective on your content based on the sponsors of the interview. Like if she's promoting gambling and earning from that, talking ill about it will be ironic on her side. And I have noted for the longest, she brings only sympathy battalions for her shows. Even there is no need when the interview, continue teaching us on your social media. It's her channel, let her do what she feels like. Continue airing out the vices in our society. We have children who need to grow in a virtuous environment. Gambling, masturbation, alcohol, gazing, scammers are very big no. Keep shouting, you are our mouthpiece. Kama haikuwa fiti, unataka aje aeke kitu haikuwa sawa. She's a big brand and kama manager wake hakuona ikiwa poa, let it be. We'll still manage to make it to the headlines without her. She's paid by NGOs to give negative energy to Kenya. Anything with a vision or that goes against LGBTQ will never pass the editor's section. Kama ingekuwa dem alikuwa anateseka kwa boma mahali, watu watalia, ama alikuwa almost kukufia Saudi, it will have been aired same day. Jesus Christ, are you not old enough to know things sometimes will not go your way? Interview utapata zingine na utaongea kuhusu pombe na gambling. Maisha haijasimama. So that is it. What do you think about this whole situation? For instance, you call someone in your show and that person wants to talk against gambling, yet there is this brand, this, like, there is this specific betting company has sponsored that person. That person maybe is wearing even their hoodie. Then you want to talk ill about that company. Even if it was me, I won't air that interview. The main thing that I have noted, it's like these people didn't have an agreement prior to the interview. Because I believe if at all Llewellyn could have been told like the limit of what he could talk about, he wouldn't talk about those things like gambling, things like alcoholism, and so on. So in future, this is a lesson to many. Ensure that you have signed an agreement, even just a simple agreement, before doing an interview. As an interviewee, you'll know the limits of your words. You'll know the farthest you can stretch your hands. You won't go overboard. Most of the people have the rules and the regulations of their shows. They know their sponsors. Once they know their sponsors, they can't post anything that's talking against their sponsors. So next time, it's so important to sign an agreement before an interview. Know your limits. Each party will know their limits. The interviewer will know what not to ask. Same to the interviewee. They will know what they can't talk about. Because I know and I believe, we all believe that there is no day anybody will answer a question that they have not been asked. If you see somebody diverting the topic, just tell them to remain to the main topic. Because even if it was you, there is no day you'll allow somebody to talk against gambling in your show. Yet you know very well you have betting companies that sponsor you, sponsor your show, and sponsor most of the things about your show. There is no day you'll talk ill about alcoholism, yet you know very well that a company that processes drinks, or I'll call it a brewery company, is the main sponsor of that show. So next time, to all of us, including me, I've learned maybe in future I'll grow and I'll know before doing any interview, we should have an agreement so that I can know whether to take the interview or not. Because there is no need for sitting even for 1 hour doing an interview. Then at the end of the day, the interview will not be posted. Imagine you're a small brand, you're trying to put yourself out there, then somebody ends up doing something similar to this. You'll end up being frustrated, by the way. I believe Lynne Ngugi is a big brand and most of the people know him. He doesn't need interviews to market himself because he is already known. But for him to post, I feel like he just felt frustrated. Imagine for him it was a sit down for 3 hours. I don't know if Lynn will respond to him or she'll just decide to let it slide. I don't know. Thank you so much for watching this video. Stay woke out there if you're a brand, whether small or big, and just ensure that you have an agreement prior to any interview or any collaboration, or even if it's a gig that you're being given out there, ensure you have an agreement. Thank you so much for watching this video. Bye bye and see you in my next.